Swamiji, thank you so much for all your beautiful teachings. It's really life-transforming, uplifting, eye-opening. I don't have enough words to explain, but thank you so much. I have two questions. One, I would like to ask you, how can you expand the consciousness from being so much attached to the body and the mind to this infinitude, and how to make it constant, and which is not once in a while but really constant. And the other question is, you said that the Upanishad take for granted that we already did the job of
sadhana.
Yeah, the sadhana of cleaning all these ragas and dveshas. And so how do you prepare? How do you do it in the fastest and best method to prepare for this? Thank you.
Yes. Bhargavi wants a shortcut. Bhargavi wants to be on Moksha Express. I commend you for that. That's wonderful. That is the way to go, really. There is a strong ichha. Moksho me bhuyad iti ichha, which means let there be moksha for me yesterday. That is the desire. I want it and I want it right now. In fact, it would have been nice to have it yesterday. This is the prayer. So the second question I think is better answered first. So the quickest way to develop emotional maturity is to let go, really. Especially the areas where there is annoyance, irritability, and pain, sorrow, fear, and general sense of discomfort, especially those areas, we learn to allow things to just drop. And how to do that? It's difficult to do that because the mind always goes to things that are not right. The mind never stays in things that are correct. I don't see that, oh, there are 117 things in my life going right. I only look at 7 things that are not right and obsess on them night and day. This is what has to be addressed. We don't even bother why I do this. There are many reasons why we do this. We don't bother about that. We focus on letting go of the small stuff. Once, in order to maintain myself, when I first went to the United States, I was cleaning people's houses. So in one lady's house, actually I was doing it for somebody else who could not make it that day. So I went to clean instead of her. She said, I'm going on vacation. Can you please take this? I said, okay. So then there was a long list. Do this, but don't do this. Do this, but don't do this. Do this, but don't do this. Do this, but not in this way, in another way. Do this, but not like this. And there's just a huge list. I got a headache after that. I had to sit down and just, meditate a little bit after this. After getting this huge list of do's, don'ts, and how to's, and how not to's, and everything like that. So anyhow, I did the best I could and then made my way in from the living room to the bedroom. And when I was vacuuming, it just hit something under the bed. I said, oh, there is something there. Maybe they have lost it. And then I looked, there was a book, very fat book. Don't sweat the small stuff. I was like, boy, she really needs this book. And she has, by mistake, put it under the bed. So I retrieved it for her and put it in a prominent place so that my life next week would be easier. It wasn't, but that's okay. But so there are books also we can take help of. That's the thing. So don't sweat the small stuff. That expression I got from the title of that book. And then another surprise waited for me the next week when I went in. So the book had been neatly kept exactly where I had kept. Don't sweat the small stuff. Next to that, she had purchased another book or got it from somewhere, I don't know where. And then it was a sequel. Do not sweat the big stuff either. Second book. And in a way, that is a thing because, we just sort of, mind goes everywhere easily. What is this person doing? What is that person doing? Is much more interesting than what is happening to me, what is happening here. It becomes a distraction. And also, it's not just a distraction, it's a way of controlling. I want to control my environment. I want to control everybody, and I want to control all the things so that I can be comfortable. So, how is that going? How much control can one have? Not really. So, I just let things drop. It's something that happens naturally, and there's already the urges for things to drop, and I have to listen to that urge. There is a voice as though, especially when I start on the spiritual path, there is a voice as though that says, let it go. Don't go there. But then what does one do? One still goes there. Just let that go. So the letting go is a very, very important thing. In the Shastra, it is called Uparati. It's like a baby sannyasa. You take a baby renunciation. And how does the renunciant behave? The renunciant minds their own business. So I too learned to do that. And then the second thing that has helped a lot of people, which I'd like to share, is writing down certain times of the day, carving out a block of time every week. First, we start with every week. No criticism, only appreciation day. This is very important. And it leads to a very good life, whether it's in the ashram or whether it's in the family, especially if it's like a weekend and everybody is at home. So, no criticism, only appreciation day. Somebody raised their hand when I talked about it. They said, can we make it a little less? The whole day is too hard. I said, no criticism, only appreciation, half a day. Okay, you can't do the whole day, do half a day, 4 hours. They said, that's not happening. There was a couple there, they looked at each other, both of them shook their heads. It's not happening. No criticism, only appreciation, 2 hours every weekend? No. No criticism, only appreciation, 1 hour every weekend? No. So they started with 15 minutes. I had to keep bargaining with them. Yeah. And advising another. And that is how the other qualifications, Shama and Dhamma, are developed. A resolved mind and non-reactivity. And then I develop trust in the Shastra. Just because the Upanishad says it, it must definitely be true. I have an open mind and I feel like Bhagavan is teaching me. This is how much reverence one needs to develop for the Shastra to speak, Shraddha. And then the other one is Titiksha. Titiksha means the ability to put up with things that are not very pleasant, which we do not have. Swamiji was on a train, and then that's how he saw this particular story that I'm going to relate to you. And then he got the example for titiksha after seeing this incident unfold before his eyes. There was a couple in the seat in front of him. They were all going somewhere, and half an hour, next station. And the woman started to say, I'm so thirsty. I'm so thirsty. Thirsty am I. I am thirsty. In fact, I have become thirst embodied, thirst incarnate. There is no water. Every drop of water has been drunk. How could you do this? Why didn't you fill up another bottle at the last station? I'm so thirsty. I'm so thirsty. Not only her husband, but everybody on the train got sick of her. They were all like, where are my earplugs? I can't handle it. She's complaining loudly so much. And they were all praying, let the station come fast, so that this woman and our ears can be put out of their misery. Finally, after an interminable time, the next station came, and there is the watering hole right in front where the train has stopped. And the husband got out with the bottles and started to fill the bottles and brought it over to her. Didn't even wait to get into the train, gave it from the window. And she drank, she poured it on herself. I'm so thirsty, so thirsty, so thirsty. And she said, fill this also, just in case. So again he went and filled it up. And then, everybody thinks this is so nice. Thank God. The train started to move, gave a big whistle, started to move. And this woman said, do you know how thirsty I was? I was so thirsty, I was so thirsty, I was so thirsty, I couldn't bear it. Oh, I was thirsty for half an hour, I was really thirsty. This is absence of titiksha. Titiksha means putting up with discomfort. And I need to have a little threshold, increase the threshold of discomfort, because I do not call the shots. I do not even call the weather. I mean, yes, there is an air conditioning and you can go pip pip and then it turns on, no problem, it's nice, enjoy it. But supposing one day you turn on and it doesn't go pip pip, it in fact makes no sound at all, power outage or mechanical problems, or it's just as they say in America, kaput, gone. What do I do then? That is the question. What do I do then? If I throw the remote, jump on it for good measure, rant, rave, scream, nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. It's not going to come alive. Oh, that's okay. I can call the technician. Yes, try calling. It's Saturday afternoon, okay? They are all on the weekend. Nobody is available. And so like this, there may be times where I won't have my way. So I have to learn to live with what there is. To learn to live with what there is, to be happy with what there is. This is the cultivation of titiksha. And then finally there is this samadhanam, which we have spoken about, single-minded focus. I'm not distracted. Who came? Who went? Oh, the person who came yesterday is not there. Did they leave town or are they in their room? Yeah, if they left town, where did they go? If they are in their room, why did they not come here today? So, this is samadhanam, focused listening. I just, the whole thing, that's why attending a Vedanta class or a session like this can be like a meditation, because I have a total concentration. This is called samadhanam. This is what we call the six pack. Okay, so this is a group of six, and then we have discernment, viveka, and then discernment between what and what, the finite and the infinite. Which one do I want? Yeah, if anybody said finite, please see me after the session. Yeah. So I'd like to talk to you. So, especially since we don't have any more sessions. So, so we have the finite and the infinite. What do I want? I want that which is forever. I don't want that which finishes quickly. And so therefore I choose the infinite. And then we have vairagya, that means letting the finite drop out of my life. So many things we have let drop. When one was a child, one was playing with cars, trucks, dolls, etc. Where are they now? Oh, they are in the attic. I'm keeping it for the grandchild or keeping it for the child. Let's say you're playing with the child. Do you snatch the truck from the child? No, mine. You don't do that. Why? You have outgrown it. You have played with it, you've had your fill. It was a source, the doll was a source of security, the teddy bear was also a source of security as a child. And then now it doesn't have much meaning. Although this is not a very good example. This is a very good example in Indian context. But in America, everybody has teddy bears. Even the grown-up people have teddy bears on their beds. So I don't know what to say. No comments on that. Okay? Yeah. So, but in India, you give the teddy bear to another child or something like that. And if it is really special, you have it refilled, not refilled. What is the word? Stuffed, restuffed, yeah. And then you give it to the child. You have grown out of it. At one point, without the teddy bear, there was a lot of insecurity. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I can't sleep without it. I have to have it. Without it, I'm not whole. Without it, I'm not complete. And now one is a teddy bear, Jnani, doll, Jnani. What else? Car, Jnani, truck, Jnani. Why? Because now I have my phone. It has replaced the teddy bear. Can't be without it for a split second. Not even for a little bit I can be without the phone. You see how we grow out of certain toys and keep growing into certain other toys which we never give up. We have that same attitude of letting it drop, not really outgrowing it. And soon a day comes where you will have vairagya towards those things that were catching hold of you, because the knowledge is so powerful and so strong, it takes you, and I allow it to take me. I'm not in charge of it. It is in charge of me. I allow it to operate upon me and transform me. This is my commitment. This is these 9 things that we talked about. Viveka, Vairagya, and then the last one is Mumukshutvam, the desire that we already addressed first. Let me have moksha, that desire. And so because of this, I have I allow myself to be transformed. And one day I wake up and suddenly I find that all the things I was obsessing about do not matter anymore. And I have the courage and strength to let go. I'm like a bald man walking down the hair care and shampoo aisles in the supermarket. He will not look this side, he will not look that side. Perfect vairagya. I am not in the least bit interested, because it's of no use to me. Because only when there is hair, you have to care. Okay, so the hair care comes when you have hair. When you have no hair, all those things don't interest you. Some kind of gel and some kind of things, and after wash and pre-wash and wash and, all these things you're not interested in. And so similarly, like that, you just are able to look, appreciate, and not want to have. And so the world is no longer divided into 2. What is the division? Mine, not yet mine. Yet to be mine. No longer is this division. What is the world now? All me, not even mine. It's all me. And so this way we prepare. And it is nice to it's a blessing to live at the ashram, because half of those things which I'm talking about are already taken care of through karma yoga and through being assigned a room and living in it. So The room has a certain, there is a certain dimension. Like my room in our ashram in India, it's got a certain dimension. I can only bring so many things inside. And if I get another shawl, people are very fond of giving shawls to swamis. Okay, yeah. Swami and shawl go together. And so when they see me, they think orange shawl. Okay, yeah. So one day, I cleaned out the cupboard, okay? I cleaned out the cupboard. There were two shawls. I said, okay, I don't need two shawls, and I don't get that cold. So I said, these two, I'm going to give it away. And do you know in the ashram how hard it is to give orange shawls away? It's very difficult because everybody is having a stack of them. All the swamis, who to give it? It was quite a challenge. And so I was actually invited to go inaugurate something in another ashram. So I said, idea. So I equipped one shawl under each arm, trotted off to the next ashram, and surprisingly there were two swamis, and then I gave each of them one shawl. They were, if they were unhappy, they did not show it. Very politely they accepted. And then what else? And the people who were here yesterday, they left. Kirti and her family, and they came to see me in the Rishikesh ashram, and they said, Swamiji, we brought you two shawls. I have given one of them away. One more I still have to find, I have to find an orange scapegoat. Yes. So, like in living in the ashram, it's easy because you can't keep a lot of things. When you start to get socks and shawls, you have to give them away. And you have to just sort of keep it, you have to have, it forces you to have a minimalist life. But then, you know what? That is true of everybody else not living inside the ashram also. And if you need help, then on YouTube, there are a lot of how to live minimalistically videos. Somebody sent me one and they said that, do you know this man? I didn't know him because they just wondered. It's just a 2-minute video. And then he was called as a consultant to somebody else's room. And he just went threw everything out. See, clean. You reclaim so much space because the space that we live in really matters. The outside space reflects on the inside space, really. If I just put everything, then what will happen? Then inside clutter will also grow along with the outside clutter. So I give things away, I put it away, I keep everything minimalistic. No, but what if I need? This is where the trust comes, Shraddha. How did you get what you needed the first time? First time means when one came out of the mother's womb. Did you bring a cow with you for milk? No. Did you bring a feeding bottle just in case? No. Did you pack a sandwich because outside it's a harsh world and I need something to eat? No. The baby just comes out and you see all these National Geographic videos. The baby comes out and without a GPS, it makes its way to the mother's milk. Sometimes these kittens, the eyes are closed. Dogs, puppies, eyes are closed. Still they know where the mother's milk is. Instinctively they go there. When you came out of the mother's womb, did you bring an oxygen tank just in case? No. Everything was provided. Milk was provided. Even if the mother did not have her own milk, there was formula, that was provided. And then there was need for warmth, clothes, blankets, swaddling blankies were provided. And then food was provided, air was provided. Now also it will be like that. And this is not a promise I am making. This is promise Lord Krishna is making right bang in the middle of the Bhagavad Gita. Ananyashchintayanto mam ye janah paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Bhagavan says there is a small mix up. What is the mix up? You have taken over my portfolio. You are doing my job, Ishvara says. Oh, your job? What is your job? My job is to take care of your needs. Oh, I thought it was my job. No, that's the problem. You have mistaken, you have taken away my portfolio. I want it back. My job is to provide. So I'll give you what you need and what all the requirements are. I mean, it'll be dal and rice, okay? Not some kind of a gourmet 5-star thing with some pomegranate on top, yeah. That's not, and 2 mint leaves and 1 pomegranate on top. It may not be that kind of cuisine. But it is nutritious, it will fill the stomach, it will nourish me. That is what it will give. And this is fantastic, this is lovely. But I don't allow Bhagavan to do his job, her job. I go and put the fingers in every pie. This is what is called yoga kshema, taking care of my needs and wants and what I want to have, what I want to retain. Bhagavan says, you forgot. It is my portfolio. You have taken away from me. Oh, if that's your portfolio, okay, reluctantly I give it back. Okay, take it. But then, what is my job? This is a very big question. Bhagavan says, Ishvara says in the Bhagavad Gita, your job is to know me as separate, as non-separate from myself. Your job is to know yourself as one with everything. That is your job. You do your job, please. Don't interfere with mine. Let me do mine. Very, very nice. So, ananyaha chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate. Those that worship me by looking into the truth of themselves and not wasting their time trying to do so many things. I will carry their needs, wants, and their burdens. This is a very powerful promise, not an empty promise. But we never give this promise a chance. Why? Because we are really busy doing everything else except the study of the Atman. This, with such a promise, we learn to let go. We learn to allow the thing to be. With regard to your second question, how to abide in this more and more, you can do some nididhyasana, some contemplation. Can sit and repeat asangoham, asangoham, asangoham punah punah, asangoham, asangoham, asangoham punah punah, asangoham, asangoham, asangoham punah punah, Satchidananda Swarupoham, Satchidanandaswarupoham ahamevaham avyayah, ahamevaham avyayah. Even if the last line, I'll write it for you, even if the last line is not clear, the first line is enough. Asangaha aham punah punaha. Punah punaha, again and again I remind myself, I am uninvolved. I am not the sum total of the body, mind, sense complex. Because if the body is destroyed, I am not destroyed. If the mind is destroyed, I am not destroyed. If the senses are destroyed, I am very much there. So asangaha means I am uninvolved with all the strife and the pain and the sorrow connected to this body, this mind, these senses. Saying that and knowing the meaning of asanga helps a lot to be in the paramarthika reality, not in the solipsistic subjective reality. So these kinds of things, sarvam brahma, everything is Brahman, another one. Sarvam brahma, aham brahmasmi, I am Brahman. These are all very powerful mantras. And they are not mantras like for doing japa. They are mantras of contemplation. And I contemplate upon them, and then I just use that, and they have very lot of power. And when they have so much power, what happens is that it transforms. Slowly, the body is just, let go of. Slowly, the body identification decreases. How do I know? I'm not so mindful of it all the time. What do I need now? What do I need now? What do I need now? I'm not thinking because the I has already started to migrate to Brahman. The I was first identified with the body, now it is identifying with Brahman. This is how we grow.
I have a question online.
Yes.
Yeah. Is this the first one? Oh, okay. I'll ask this one first because I can see it. Or, oh, okay, sure. Yes. There.
There are people.
Here it is. Okay. Thank you. Swaminiji, what would you suggest when we want to live minimally, but we live with a partner who prefers lots of things and clutter?
Keep your space minimal. Yeah. Your closet, let it be minimal. Do not allow their things to come in your closet and your space. Yeah. They have their space, they live in their space, and make a space for you, even if it's a corner of the room. And have some house rules. This is my area, and there will not be any clutter ever. So that is very easy. You negotiate, and very soon you will be giving minimalistic lessons to the partner because they will see that you are clearer, happier, less. You appear to be less encumbered, and they will say, "How do you do that?" Yeah.
We have one more question from online, and it is, Swaminiji, you mentioned in one of your first sessions last week that we come to the ashram desiring spiritual experience in the same way we desire experience in the world of finite objects. I understood that a desire of the infinite or spiritual experience is what motivates us on the spiritual path, but are you saying it is important to lose desire of any kind, including that for self-realization, as a priority? Thank you.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that as long as I'm hung up on having special experiences, the desire for special experiences, that is what needs to be lost. Not all desires. Because the desire for special experiences is a dead end. After the special experience, what? Gone. Now I'm sad. Why? The special experience came to an end. And sometimes it's another thing. Then they come to the Swami. I had this experience. What does it mean? Yeah. So that means that the experience may be a teacher, but then it has to be decoded. And the experience itself being finite, and if I become an experience hog all the time, and if I want this, then it's no different than being in the so-called everyday world where I was doing this to begin with. So if I'm coming to an ashram, which I should change my orientation from the catch, kill, eat mentality, which I have been going on from many lifetimes. Maybe one lifetime was a cat, okay? And then what does the cat do out in the wild? Catch, kill, eat, conquer. Now, human body, but cat buddhi, cat mentality. Again, I want to catch, kill, eat, conquer. I had one young boy come, and he was coming to see me, and then he said that, he came with his mother, and then this was a few years back. I'm learning so many things, especially the young adult lingo. Many of it was, I did not know. And so this boy comes, and then he had just finished giving some important exam. So I said, "How did you do the exam? How was the exam?" He says, "Swaminiji, I killed it." I looked a little alarmed, and his mother said, "No, no, no, that means he did very well." But you see, at least the teenagers, they are honest. Yes, I killed it. I caught it, I killed it. Catch, kill, eat, catch, kill, conquer. But that is not it. The Shastra is not to be, it's not something to catch, because it's telling about you. Brahman is not an object to catch. In fact, this teaching should catch you. You are not the catcher. You have to be the caught. And for that, there has to be heart transformation. It's all in the heart. The heart has to blossom. There is one very nice text called Bodhasara, and this Bodhasara is, there is one Shishya Viveka, like what should the student know? There is a section. And there the author describes the students as lotuses. So there are 4 lotuses in the lake. And so there is a teacher lotus, a big lotus, and 4 small lotuses in the lake. Actually, only one is the real lotus, the other 3 are decoys. They are all Shishyas, they all come for the knowledge. But there is a stone lotus, there is a wooden lotus, there is a clay lotus, and only one real lotus. What does the wooden lotus do? The wind comes, it bobs away from the lake ashram, bobs off and goes away to the other side. And then what does the clay lotus do? It gets waterlogged. Glub, glub, glub. What does the stone lotus do? It sinks even as soon as you put it in, it sinks. No need for glub, 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 because there's no time there to sink. It's gone. And only the real lotus that is there is ready for this knowledge, because it's open to the sun of the Shastra. And the clay lotus symbolizes the stone lotus, of course, symbolizes a tamasic mind, and the clay lotus also a tamasic or rajasic mind, where it is, heavy and has a lot of its own baggage. The wooden lotus is also very rajasic, because it's got too much, as we say in Ayurveda, too much vata. It just cannot stay, it just goes away. And so I have to be like that real lotus, the lotus that stays, and the lotus that allows the heart to be open. Here there is nothing to catch, even though I may say to myself, I have come to master Vedanta, but we all know who is the master. Vedanta is the master. And that is what I have to, that is the change of heart that has to be there. And the surrender also takes a different form. When I say I surrender, this is a famous dialogue between 2 people. One person, a young Swami, came to an elderly Swami and said, apparently, I gave up my job. I have given up my wife. I have given up my earnings. I have given up my bank account. I have given up my children. In fact, I have given up my whole life. I have given up my house. In fact, I have given up my whole life. And the elderly Swami listened patiently and said, okay, when are you going to give up the giver upper? That is really what it is. The I that gives up, the notion that I have done this, I have this thing, that I becomes the recipient rather than the agent, And then when we wake up to this knowledge, we find we are neither the doer nor the recipient of other people's doings. It's really beautiful. But for that, I have to let go of the catch, kill, experience, and conquer mentality. I have to be open to what comes. And a lot of things come if I'm open. There are signs along the way. Teaching comes. The teaching itself takes me away.
This morning you talked about what bothers you in someone lives within you. Can you elaborate more? And does that apply to every circumstance?
Yes.
Because if I'm watching a parent abuse a child,
Yes.
I can't help but be
Yes. Agitated.
very.
Yes.
And does that mean I need to self-reflect because that's
Yes.
living within me?
Yes. Definitely.
Can you
It's
elaborate?
not all solipsistic and it's not all objective. It's a mixture. If I see somebody beating an animal, first part is there's a natural empathy. Beating a child, beating something indefensible. It has done nothing to you. And then somebody is mistreating somebody else. On one level, there is a natural empathy as human beings. We feel like running and taking the stick or the club away from that person and saying, hey, what are you doing? If it is safe to do so. Sometimes it's not because they can be big. We can't just go and put ourselves in danger. And so we can call 911 or do whatever it is. So that is the natural human empathy. Human beings are wired to be empathetic. We feel other people's pain. We know that this is not a nice thing. We have a sense of justice, dharma. We know adharma when we see it. But then if it is agitating me more than that, so then if this is the case, then I do what I need to. If the person looks like a mild person just having a bad day and taking it out on the child or the animal, I can just go up to them and say, relax, I know it's life is hard, but what has that innocent thing done to you? Let go. In a grocery store, so many times we can do this. But if the person looks big and is having some kinds of, attitude, it's better to go far away and call 911. Get the help. And then after that, what? I go about my day. I have done whatever I could. I have interrupted the situation enough to get the help for this defenseless being. But if that same thing is replaying in my head, then I need to look within. I have to think of, okay, this is triggering me. How? Why? That is what I have to look into.
Thank you. Swamiji, I have a question about the difference between karma and just a string of bad luck. And I guess the question is, what do you do when you have a string of bad luck? Do you say it's just the universe and blame the universe? Do you just say, would you like milk or would you like sugar or cream? What do you do?
What you are calling bad luck, we call karma. So that is karma. What is bad luck? Bad luck means a series of things that are happening which I don't want to happen, which are giving me discomfort, which are giving me sorrow, which are giving me pain. This is what I call bad luck. What I want is not happening. What I don't want is happening 3 times in a row. This is what I call bad luck. We call exactly this as karma. So there is a karmic attack. And I'm having a karma attack. And so that means what? That means that this is something I have to address. How to address? get to the place of reverence and acceptance. That reverence and acceptance helps, because when there is reverence and a sense of acceptance, and the prayer is to give me strength to withstand this bad luck, this spate of difficulty or whatever there is. Oh Lord, oh Goddess, however you address the Lord, give me the strength to withstand whatever is coming. Give me the courage, give me the mental, emotional, physical strength to withstand this, because I can't do this without your help. This itself becomes a prayer. And when I invite Ishvara into my life, then the burden is definitely less, because what came is because of karma, and so I'm initiating new karma to inoculate myself from the effects of the old bad luck which I'm enduring now. So prayer is a way of neutralizing karma. Sometimes it goes away completely. There was one man who had a great, what is that, belief in Lord Shiva. And healthy man, not very elderly either. I was maybe 60 or something, and then 60, 65. And then he went to the hospital because just feeling sense of malaise and just not feeling too well. And some doctor said, we'll just do a scan to find out what's happening. You've not had one for a long time. And it was just like stage 4 cancer of something or the other, I forgot, that had metastasized, migrated all over the body. And he was told he has 4 weeks to live, maximum. It was just such a dire situation. And the doctor was very frank with him. And then, he said, well, if this is the case, I am going to just worship Lord Shiva, because I love Lord Shiva. This is what I really want to do if I have only 4 weeks to live. He was shocked. Everybody was shocked at home, but he just was trying to come to terms with it. And he told Swamiji this, and Swamiji said, if you like this very much, then do the Rudram, do Abhisheka, pouring the water and milk and 11 kinds of various dravyas, liquids, including various kinds of fruit juices, milk, yogurt, honey, etc. is poured on the Shivalinga. And do Rudram chanting 11 times with this kind of a pouring in one day. That takes the whole day, really. You can't do anything else. And he did it. For 11 days he did it, and then, he later on he was okay, and then he had, I think, about 13, 14 tumors in his body. And then later on, after this thing was done, he had to go for a checkup. They said, are you having any pain? No pain, nothing. I'm feeling actually better, he said. They said, yeah, you're feeling better. Great. Not possible. Let's do a scan. And only 2 tumors were left, and they also had shrunken considerably. And then they were in a place where it was operable. They operated them, and he's still living to tell the tale 15 years later. And so these things happen. We don't know how. There is no, how is this, how did this happen? Why did this happen? That's because there was great Shraddha, faith. His devotion was unshakable. And not only that, this karma, the new karma, the elaborate karma that he was doing, the punya, the good karma, went and attacked the bad karma and removed it. Removed it totally, neutralized it. And everybody may not be as lucky as this gentleman is, but then at least if it is not totally neutralized, it is mitigated. It is mitigated. Like we tell the story of the sage Anasuya. Anasuya was a great sage, and then she was having a spate of bad luck. And then you know what happened? The 3 devas, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara, they just decided to have fun with her, and then they said that they came and said, You know, we had a debate with your husband in the forest, and he lost the debate. So therefore we have a condition. What is the condition, she said? You have to cook for us and feed us. She said, gladly, because they were all disguised. She didn't think that they were the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. She didn't know that. She said, gladly, please come over. I will cook and feed you, not a problem. Yes, but you haven't listened to the whole condition. You must not wear any clothes when you feed us. She said, even that, gentlemen, is not a problem. And she took a pot of water, mantrified it, and sprinkled it, and they all became crying babies. Ah, they were crying. She happily removed her clothes and breastfed them, put them out, burped them, and put them out. And in fact, that is the birth of Dattatreya. Dattatreya. So, Atreya and Anasuya. These were the parents, yeah, of Dattatreya. That's why he has 3 faces, Trimurti Avatara. This is how he was born. And so, the point of the story is how to make horrendous and difficult situations small. How to do that? You can't convert everything into a baby. Sometimes karma is a monster, but then by prayer, it becomes a baby monster. Yeah. There is a follow-up here and another one there.
Yeah, I'm sorry to take up more time, but what confuses me about that is, didn't the Lord cause the karma?
No. It's my own actions that cause the karma. My own actions, which were against God, cause the karma. When I go against God, I get karma. Here, God means dharma. When I do the wrong things, I attract karma. Yes, bad karma. When I do right things, I attract good karma, which is why we are all enjoying here. If one thinks that. Otherwise, it could be the other. Yeah. Here. Both of you? You and you. Okay.
Swaminiji, we spoke about letting go of things.
Yeah.
But sometimes you come to points in life where it's about letting go of relationships.
Yes.
And especially if they are your blood ties, it becomes
Yes.
really difficult.
Yes.
Could you shed some light on that, please?
Yeah. You can, again here, minimalist contact. Pleasant and minimal contact. That might be the way to go. Because sometimes, you don't have to tell everybody everything that is going on in your mind. If you do, it increases the conflict or the difficulties in the relationship. And we try to tread softly our lives, especially as spiritual aspirants. We try to leave a very small footprint. And what is this life? It's a life committed to no disturbance, a life of zero disturbance. So if somebody is going to be bothered by my intention to separate a little bit, I don't let them know this, oh, because you did this, I'm doing this. There is no need. You can do it gracefully and gradually. Chances are that they may not even notice. And if they notice and ask, you can just be honest. You don't have to lie and say, I would rather spend quality time with you. Quality is more important to me than quantity. Or I am undergoing a few changes in my life because I'm studying new things, and I may come across as aloof. I may come across as awkward because I'm in transition. Put it on yourself. That's easier. Don't say, because you're an idiot, I have taken this decision. Because you're behaving like an idiot. That's what you want to say, but better to not say it. Better to put it on ourselves and say, I am undergoing a transformation that I quite don't understand, and I need some space to do this. And update the social profile, all the social media, seeking solitude. And in brackets, write hint, hint. Yeah. or say, don't contact me, dot, 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 I will contact you. There are gentler ways of doing it.
Hi, Swamiji. I haven't even covered this in TTC yet, but in our teacher the question, it was an answer. One of the thing is that with karma yoga, we suppose not get attached to the fruits of our actions.
Yes.
Right? I understand that. But it's easy to do that when we're in the ashram because everything is provided. But when we're out there in the secular world, right? We have duties, responsibility, we have expenses, we have mortgages. So when we go to work, we expect compensation, right? So we are, expecting and we are attached to the fruits of our action, right? So how do we bring this karma yoga into the secular, like day-to-day, very complicated, like veiled by the Mayas, and we are bound to this, and also like go back to the karma and all the things that we do, adding all the karmas to our next life. So how are we gonna be in the middle of it?
Yes.
So can you give us
yes.
some?
That's very easy. It's not as hard as it sounds, okay? That's very easy. And in fact, the answer is in the question itself. Because you said how to not expect the results of action. Nobody is saying don't expect the results of action. If I don't expect a result, why will I come here and sit and answer Q&A? Okay? Yeah. Obviously, I'm expecting a result. Because I expect that the mouth will work okay. Yeah, that's an expectation. And then when I make a sound, it will be heard. That's another expectation. That suddenly I will not lose the faculty of speech, thank God. That's a third expectation. I have so many expectations. That the bones that are holding this body-mind complex up will not suddenly collapse like this. The vertebrae is going to hold me up. This is also my expectation. So without expectation, nobody will do anything. Adi Shankara says, even if somebody is developmentally challenged, even they will say, what am I getting out of it? They will also want to know, why am I doing this for? The expectations are not the problem. The problem is wanting only a certain kind of expectation. That is the problem. So you go to work, of course you want to be paid. You're not going to do it for free. Why will you do it for free? You won't do it for free. But the attitude of Karma Yoga is what is important here. And the attitude of Karma Yoga says that this is what I'm expecting for the labor given. I expect a promotion at the end of this month. I expect to have a good review, or I expect a merit raise in my job. And then what? Month comes and month goes, and even though I have diligently done everything, the co-worker gets the raise and the promotion. I expected it, I should have got it, but the colleague gets it. And so I am left adjusting that expectation. That is Karma Yoga. Coming to terms with, yes, this is a difficult situation. Can I change it? Yes, because I can go talk to the person and say, what happened over here? What was the problem? This really mattered to me. I did not get it. Can you please shed light on why I did not receive X? Whether it was a raise or a promotion or whatever it was. Why didn't I get this? And if they say something and that makes sense, I need to change something, I need to make some effort in a certain area, I do that. If they say something and it makes no sense at all, then I know, okay, there is some other prejudice or some other weirdness operating. But even that too, I take it in the spirit of prasada. It's not that I don't expect. Whatever comes, I have my expectations, I have my outlook, I have my ambitions, I have my goals, I work towards them. But whatever comes, I am in a place to be okay with it. It is called prasada. Prasada is just whatever comes is prasada. Whatever comes from temple, prasada. After morning arati and everything, the person distributing the prasada will go around with a teaspoon and a big plate. And then you have already seen what's in the plate, okay? There are kiwis, there are grapes, there are oranges, and pieces of pineapple. And then what do I want? I don't want the grape. I want this. I don't want that. I want this. And yet, by the time the prasad comes to you, what happens? Grape. When the grape comes, I don't have a gripe. That is Karma Yoga. And you don't need the ashram for that. You can do it anywhere at all. This is how one practices. I have to adjust my expectation in keeping with what is, because what is come from Bhagavan, what is Bhagavan. And we are okay with that. There was some other, this one, she was first, these two, and then you, yeah.
Swaminiji,
Om,
thank you so
Om.
much for these
Welcome.
teachings and for the laughter. It's so refreshing. And speaking of the karma or the difficult chain of events that might happen in your life, I know a lot of people have shared some personal stories, but from the age of 9 to 16, I experienced a lot of death of, very close loved ones, dear ones. My grandmother, grandfather, a cousin who was shot and killed, my father with a heart attack, another uncle, my best friend from the age of 7 to 14. We were joined at the hip and did everything together. She drowned, and I found her at the bottom of the pool. A 2-year-old niece that drowned in a car accident died. So, this chain of events. But at that time in the 60s, 70s, no one talked to me. There was no therapy, there was no family, there was no preacher or school counselor, no one. We didn't talk about it. So I had to process all of this in my adolescent mind, watching casket after casket go down into the ground and saying, is that it? And the bugs just eat our bodies, and just trying to figure it out. Even one night I had a nightmare after my father died. My mother comforted me, but the next day there's no talk, nothing. So in my process, I thought something was wrong with me. Like, I'm a jinx, don't get close to me, you might die. Don't be my friend, you might die. So this is, and in the first Q&A you talked about being able to laugh at yourself, so people can laugh with you instead of against you. But my question is, my friend died. I lost my joy, and I'd never thought anything was funny anymore. Life became very serious, and I lived that life of, just nothing was funny. I couldn't laugh. I've been laughing here. I'm so thankful, finding things funny. Laughter is contagious, and it's one of the things I've been working on: how to laugh, how to find that joy again. So maybe that's my question here. It's 50 years later, and I'm, I did seek some grief counseling, but it never, you know, they would get sick and it would be over with or something. But I'm just so thankful you're here, and this is very helpful in helping me. And but to find my joy and to think of things as being funny, how do you get that back from being so serious?
Write a letter to each person that you lost. Write each of them a beautiful, detailed letter telling them how much they mean to you, how you haven't still forgotten them, and how much joy each of them brought to you. And then end each letter with a prayer of seeking their blessings, seeking wherever they are, seeking their blessings for you to let go of that hard space and tell them that you know that when you laugh, they laugh too. So you tell them, I'm releasing the burden of carrying this sorrow because I don't want to stop your gati. Gati means your progress in other realms. I don't want to be held back. I don't want to hold you back. So a very heartfelt letter. And then, otherwise, even if you don't go there, in your mind, just send it, bury it in the sand. So each one you make it into a beautiful ritual and release that. Yes.
Thank you, Swamiji. A question is, what is the best practices to develop this trust, like to live comfortable on a minimalistic level? It's just not about clothes, but in general, that losing anxieties and have more trust. Thank you.
How to live in trust is just like asking how to learn swimming. So if I go to the swimming instructor, swimming teacher, swimming guru, and I say, hey swimming guru, I'm very afraid of the water, okay? Yeah. So please teach me all the moves above water, so that when I go in the water, I'll know what to do. Can the swimming teacher oblige? Can the swimming teacher agree to do that? Yes? I don't think so. The swimming teacher will say, if I teach you how to do, it's not the same as doing this in the air, because the pressure of the water is different. You have to learn swimming by going in the water. If I tell the swimming teacher, teach all the moves outside the water, he or she is going to push me in the water, first thing. And so, we live in trust. How to learn to live in trust? By trusting. How to learn to live compassionately? By deliberate acts of compassion. So here, deliberate acts of trust. You have to dare to trust. You cannot say that, I have let me just have at least 10 bank accounts, then I will let go. It doesn't happen. You let go first. And then you find that it's coming. Because you see, especially financial security, we don't say financials. For us, it is Goddess Lakshmi. There she is in all her glory, sitting on the lotus with coins and everything coming. Lakshmi. And Lakshmi is a social butterfly. Lakshmi gets claustrophobic if she's in anybody's house or bank account for too long. Lakshmi belongs to Lord Vishnu, not to you. If she is kept in circulation, she just multiplies. She clones herself and multiplies. But if you lock her up and throw away the key, she shrivels, shrinks. and turns into her elder sister. Ooh, did she have an elder sister? Sister, what's her name? Alakshmi. She who is scarcity mentality personified. You don't want Alakshmi, you want Lakshmi. And if you want Lakshmi to be with you always, leave her free, set her free. And just things do come. Things do I mean, everybody's life, if you look at your own life, things have come when you needed the most. You can think about that. Things have come. And amazing things happen. But if we hold on, we don't find out. We just are catching hold of Lakshmi is not energy anymore. Lakshmi has to be treated on an energetic level. We worship her by setting her free, by sharing her, by just letting her go. If we trap her and keep her to ourselves, you know what happens? She turns into material. And as soon as she turns into material, she is no longer infinite. What does she become? Finite. That's why to have a relationship with Lakshmi means we should let go of her. Just keep her in circulation. She has an active social life, and we should allow her to visit all the houses she needs to visit. Then she happily comes home to you and multiplies as well. Yes.
So two of the things that first got me onto the spiritual path were listening to accounts of people's near-death experiences. And also I was really enjoying the work of somebody named Ram Dass. And I'd heard about karma before, and that basically seems like if you do good things happen to you, and if you do bad things, you get punished.
Bingo.
And I'd never heard of dharma, which is an essential concept tying karma together, but I'd never heard of that. And when I learned about that from Ram Dass, and when I heard about that, that made spirituality a lot more palatable to me. It was like, okay, well, this all happens for a purpose. And then people's near-death experiences, you consistently hear about how they'll kind of see their life flash before their eyes, and they'll be not told, but they'll understand that before we're born, we kind of plan our lives such that we understand what our dharma is going to be. We understand what the challenges and the lessons we're going to learn are going to be, and we go into that with open eyes. And so when we're on this side, we forget that. We're here to experience our free will unencumbered by anything that would kind of let us bypass that.
Yes.
We're here to really see that.
Yes.
And so for me, that's helped me to embrace spirituality and have some dispassion in my own daily life, where I can see everything's a lesson, and this is the fruit of past actions, but compiled in a way where it's actually going to be fruitful for me. Something auspicious is going to help open me up. Something challenging is going to help open me up. It's all for the purpose not of having my preferences met, but for awakening.
Yes.
Everything is nudging me towards that, and I chose that.
Perfect.
And everything is being presented for me to make use of. And that's my personal view on it, on Dharma. And I was wondering how that squares with traditional Vedanta.
It's not very different. I would just amend one small thing. Everything is happening according to a plan whose workings I may not know. But I can definitely use it to my advantage by growing from it. That is how I would put it, yes. Because it may not be geared to me necessarily, but I can certainly grow from it.
Last night you talked about longing transforming to belonging, and I just wondered if you could talk about that a little bit more.
There are longings because I do not have a sense of belonging. That's true. If I long for something, that means there is a feeling of unmoored and alienated from the source, alone, out there, to fend or defend things on my own. But when there is a sense of belonging, if I have a strong practice of prayer, meditation, talking to God, surrender, then there is a connection there. That itself takes care of half of, because there is a sense of belonging. All longings are because I lack a sense of belonging.
Hi, Swamiji. I actually have a personal question because of many questions that is asked by all the people here. I just want to see if my understanding is correct. I will try to control my emotions. Ah. Yeah, so practicing non-attaching is difficult, right? It's more difficult than we think. So, so in short, like my mother still blames me for her life. So she keep on telling me that if she never pregnant with me, she will have a much better life, right? But the sense is I don't have her life. I'm not in control over her life.
No.
So when I was born, she tried to give me away when I was only a few months old. And then she divorced my father when I was 2 years old. And then after that, she tried to keep me away from my dad until I was diagnosed with lymph nodes, tuberculosis, lymph nodes. The doctor need to know my family, like, history.
Yes.
And that's the only time I got connected to my father when I was 23. So I went back to China when I was 26. I went to talk to my grandparents to find out what's really happening with my mom's story. Because my mom told me when I was 16 that my father raped her. So that's why she was pregnant with me. So I've been living in, it's very difficult to live under the impression that you are someone nobody wants.
Yes.
So after I learned what's really going on, like my mother was in love with my dad. They were definitely at their free will to do whatever they want to do. And I was a love baby instead of a rape baby. But she changed the storyline on me. So I decided I can't deal with her. I can't talk to her because when I see her, all I can see is so much pain that she's causing me because, from a few months old to, my whole life.
Whole life, yes.
My whole life.
Yes.
So even like right now, she told a lie to my uncle about me. So my uncle actually blocked me for a few years. So a couple months ago, my uncle finally reached out to me after a few years of blocking me. So I thought, oh my God, so my uncle reached out to me, so I'm so happy. And after a few hours of talking, my uncle wants me to give them money because my brother has got in trouble, right? But then I'm like, why? Because my mom did not help me with college. I have to go to college. I have to work at the same time. I have to provide for myself since I was 16. So she gave everything to my brother. I didn't get not even a dime. So like, why I have to help him? He has everything, right? And so then she reached out. She was screaming. She was cursing. It's very difficult for me to understand what's going on there, right? So so I I'm just thinking like, is from my past karma? Because I heard people say like you choose your own family, you choose your own parents, you
No.
know, and
No, you don't.
to me, I just don't understand what kind of karma is this on me, because I haven't done anything.
It is, we cannot say it's all your karma. It is the abuse of free will on the part of the biological mother, on the mother's part. It is her abusing her free will. Obviously, there is some kind of a issue there. We don't know what. Perhaps the psychologists can diagnose what exactly is the problem. But definitely there is some issue which is being taken out on you for no reason at all. And you are a very brave young woman.
Thank
I
you.
want to give you a big hand. Yes. Look at you. Look at how beautiful, how courageous you are. Look at how far you have brought yourself. And not only that, not only have you shone in the world, you have brought yourself to the spiritual doorstep. It's amazing. This is just so amazing and so beautiful. And you can help others with these kinds of stories, and that's what you're, and even older people with these kinds from it. And because you are able to talk about it, you are no longer in that grip, in its grip. It has loosened. It has loosened, and you have made certain decisions to have no contact is a very healthy decision. It's not, you don't need this kind of toxicity. You can choose to not be part of that, and you are not to blame for anybody's sorrow. You cannot make anyone happy. You alone can be happy. And I see that seeds of happiness in you already. I see the seeds of Ananda trying to sprout. I see them growing into beautiful flowers. And I see you making the entire, if I can be of any help or service to you, I'm here for you. You keep in touch with me.
Sure, thank
Yeah.
you.
Any other questions? Okay. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.